Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
Hi, how is everyone? So today, when I'm recording this is the 6th of January, 2026. So it's Tuesday. This headline that came out this morning, if you're, you know, Steve Golszewski, head of the Queensland Police Service, the police commissioner, you're looking at this headline going, ooh, okay, maybe we made a mistake a few years ago. Maybe we need to improve our background checks. Maybe we need to do a little bit more of a in-depth investigation when we're talking to people who have come from overseas and look at the views that they have about other people. Queensland Police Service member charged with 41 offences, accused of anti-Semitic posts. So QPS employee allegedly made highly offensive, very anti-Semitic comments, including one in response to the youngest victim of the Bondi massacre. A court has heard. You remember the Bondi massacre? Happened only last month, and there was a very young victim within that massacre of those two gutless cowards who are just, anyway, they're not worth talking about. QPS Protective Services Group member allegedly made very anti-Semitic posts to social media, including one in response to a post featuring the youngest victim of the Bondi massacre. A court has heard. How do you pronounce this name? Muammer Nuki. Maybe, who knows? He's 50. He's facing 41 counts of using a carriage service to menace, harass, or cause offence, and he has not entered any pleas. There's his face there, the face of the Queensland Police Service member. There you go. He was arrested on Monday, the same day he has appeared in the Brisbane Magistrates Court. Nuki, wherever you say it, employed by QPS for 25 years. That's a bit of service. Is alleged to have made posts to various social media platforms over almost 2 years. Wow, 2 years and they've only just got onto it, including some which police claim are supportive of acts of violence, including the Bondi massacre, the court has heard. In response to a user on Threads who wrote about Islamic extremism in a post that featured a photo of Matilda. She's the 10-year-old shot dead at the Bondi last month. Nukik allegedly responded, Zionist, and then they've cut, I won't say what I think that is, so Zionist something something. In response to a post featured before and after photos of what appears to be a female Israeli Defense Force soldier who's lost her legs, Nukik allegedly said, "Happy birthday, legless bee," with a tongue out emoji. He's a delightful chap, isn't he? Delightful. So glad he's employed by QPS. Police prosecutor Sergeant Matt Carla opposed bail when Nukik appeared in court Monday afternoon. It's highly offensive, very anti-Semitic, in my respectful submission, he said. No doubt very harassing and menacing to many of our community. Since the incidents at Bondi continues, seems to be on the back of a very strong anti-Semitic ideology. I love the way he walks out and he's got someone else who's there in his little community covering his face. Mate, if you're that, all these people who want to say whatever they want online, but then when they're held accountable, when they're in the courts and people are taking photos, then they hide their head in shame. Anyway, so let's go back, and that's what he looks like. That's his ugly face right there. There you go, just so you don't forget. So, that's just gutless. So lawyer, this is Nukik's lawyer. Lawyer Emma Kearney, however you say it, Kearney, said the Crown would struggle to show many of the posts were objectively offensive, saying the people her pro-Palestinian client didn't support were Zionists. This is the problem here. We have imported all these people who are pro-Palestinian. We've allowed them all to come in. Look at all the Gazans, all the people from Gaza that we brought in just recently. And we've got the former ISIS brides that we brought in. We've imported all these people. The ISIS brides, okay, they were just some clans that left and come back. But, we brought all these people in. And then we wonder why our nation's falling apart. Well, we have people in here with all these anti-Semitic views and these, they want to go and spout off hatred and vitriol. But we brought them all into the country. And then it's funny because they love to hold certain people accountable for what they say, but the narrative that they twist, it's striking sometimes. So it's a tricky line, she says, to walk when it's a tricky line to walk when it's surrounding political unrest and an active war where inevitably there will be groups of people who support either side. This is the problem, but it's an active war that's over there. Okay, if you want to support the war over there, well then go over there. Why do these people like all the Gazans to come here? If they want to come here and then spout off their views and get up here and protest and say anti-Semitic things? Well, then go back to Gaza. Don't stay here. This is the frustrating thing, I think. And people like this, like him too, and they talk about, oh, this is a tricky line, you know. I mean, you got to walk this fine line. No, you just have to say, well, this is right and this is wrong. This is the law, and this is the way it is. There's no tricky line. However, Magistrate Louis Shilito responded. He says objective offensiveness is going to be something that he might have difficulty with when he is supportive of someone having died in furtherance of his cause. Wow, got a magistrate who might be able to see some common sense. Puts the lawyer in her place, didn't he? He said it was alleged the self-described anti-Zionist had gone beyond that and made posts which were anti-Israeli and supportive of organisations, including prescribed terrorist organisations, including Hamas, Hezbollah, and Ansar Allah. I think that it is demonstrable, the vast majority of them, that any pro-Palestinian ideology that might underpin the defendant's commentary is wholly outstripped by the nature of the comments and the acts that his comments are said to be supportive of, including repeated and recent acts of violence against persons, including in Australia, noting that there are comments responsive to posts about the recent Bondi attacks. The persistence of it is concerning, but is to be seen in a context, I think, fairly, as this is the occasion on which the police have now interacted with Mr. Newkick. Mr. Shilito said the defendant's explanation for the posts lacked insight. Well, like I said, hats off to this magistrate for pointing out some truth about this chap. However, given Newkick's lack of any criminal history and the alleged offending being comments and not insight of violence in Australia, then conditions would reduce the risk of any likelihood of further offending. So naturally, what did they do? They gave him bail. He was granted bail to live in Tarragindi, report to police once a week, possess only one phone, and not have social media, including Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. The court heard the Bosnian native spent time in a Serbian-ran concentration camp before migrating in 1993 to Australia, where he became a citizen. In a statement released Monday afternoon, Queensland Police alleged the offending happened between February 2024 and January 2026. What a load of rubbish. You don't all of a sudden get these kind of anti-Semitic views in your life. It's like, oh, all of a sudden, I'm now anti-Semitic. There's no way it only just started happening then. In keeping with they're back with this spiel. In keeping with our commitment to high standards of behaviour, transparency and accountability, which, as we all know, is a load of hogwash because we don't keep within our commitment to high standards of behaviour, transparency and accountability. Anyway, we have undertaken to inform the public when a member of the services faces serious allegations of misconduct. This does not mean that the allegations against the member have been substantiated. Well, we all know that, chumps. Anyway, look, I get sick of that stupid spiel they started. I thought they'd stop doing it. We've allowed all these people in. We've imported hatred and vitriol, and then everyone's surprised when we have people like this spewing it out on the internet. Good on QPS for finally come across it and doing something about it. Like I said, I highly doubt, highly doubt that he's only just been doing this since 2024. You don't just suddenly have these viewpoints come up in your life, suddenly change your viewpoints. that all of a sudden you hate Jewish people, you hate Israelis. But this is the mindset of the ignorant. And we've imported more and even worse of these kind of people into the nation. So I think it might actually get worse. But hey, this is just QPS yet again letting us down in a lot of ways. Anyway, we'll probably talk a bit more about this later on as it goes through the courts and see what happens to him. Just wanted to keep you up to date on what's happening in the state of Queensland. My name is Jay Fallon. Thanks for listening to The Slippery Slope.
They just fuel a desire that will take me high.